Today I'm van Niekerk and this is a lesson for grade 9s on problem solving. So the past few days we've looked at different topics on whole numbers, and then we've looked at calculations with numbers, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Then we've looked at multiples and factors, where we've done highest common factor and lowest common multiple. Now we're going to use those topics of the past few days to solve problems regarding these topics that we're looking at. We're looking at some of them today. Right, so today we're just going to look at ratios and rates, speed, distance and time. Alright, only those two for today. The rest, you can write these down in your book so that you know of all the different problems you must be able to solve. Today we're only looking at the first two. Right. So, ratios and rates. The first thing, so we're doing them separate, ratios, and then we'll do rates. So ratios are expressed as A to B. So we can write it like this, as A to B. So it's a colon. So we say it's A to B, where A and B, I don't think I have enough space, is an element of, what do we call this? The sign. Okay, we've done it in the first lesson. A and B are both elements of integers, right? Where A and B are both integers, right? So the first example is this one, where we have now that there are 74 matrics. And let's say, just for example, for this year, there are 74 matrics and 222 new grade 8s. So all the grade 8s needs to have a tour around the school. And how many grade 8s would every matric have to take on a tour? Then we have to express our answer as a ratio. All right. So we can do the following. This is not a very difficult example. I'm sure you've seen these types before. So there are 74 matrics, right? And there are 222 grade 8s. Now, in a ratio, we always want to express it in its simplest form, right? We're not going to leave it as 74 to 222, right? We're not doing that. We want to express it in its simplest form. So we want to see what is actually the highest common factor between 74 and 222, right? We've done that yesterday in the previous lesson. So what's the highest common factor between these two? You can go do the whole calculation like we've done yesterday. That's fine. That's actually 100% if you do that. I'm going to tell you now what it is. It's 74, right? 74 can go into 74 and it can go into 222. So we can divide both of these with 74, right? So I'm just going to write it there, divide by 74 and divide by 74. This is what I'm writing in red now. You can write this in pencil, right, when you're writing the example down. Okay, it's a good idea to still write it down and write it in pencil. Right? Sorry, let's say this is example 1. So 74 divided by 74 is 1. And 222 divided by 74, well, you can type it in your calculator if you'd like, it's 3. Alright, so for every matric, every matric should take 3 grade 8s on a tour. Right, that's the ratio. For every one matric, there's 3 grade 8s. Alright, and that's the ratio. So now we can, you can write the full answer if you want. You can say every matric should take 3 grade 8s. Right, there you have it, 3 grade 8s. Okay, that's your final answer. You can say thus, or therefore. Alright, that's ratios. So ratios are always expressed in its simplest form. Remember that. It's expressed in its simplest form. And as far as it's possible, have the 1 on the left-hand side. Right? You're not going to write 3 to 1. Okay, you write the 1 on the left, the smallest number on the left. Even if it was already in its smallest form, the simplest form, but the left and the number on the left was not a 1, maybe it was a 2, then you still write the smallest number on the left hand side, not on the right, even if this was 2 to 3. Okay, smallest number still on the left. Right, that's ratios. Then rates, right, you can see it here at the bottom already. Rates are expressed as amount per unit or distance per unit, right? So amount per unit is like with the price of fuel, so rand per litre, or what is the price now for petrol? It's around about 14 rand 15, let's say. 14 rand 15 per litre, right? I think let's write it down. So we can even say there, this is like saying it's 14 rand 50 per litre. All right, okay, that's a rate. The moment you have this per sign, okay, the dash, the forward dash, what slash, this one. The moment you have this, you have a rate. Okay, so you can remember that is a rate, right? Or whatever else you have. If you have a, well, what do you buy every day? A lollipop. I don't know. Let's say you buy a lollipop every day for 1 rand 50 per lolly, right? Then distance per unit. Okay, that's the same thing. So like kilometers per liter, right? If you're riding a bicycle, or if you're driving a car, or you get driven with a car, you have, so let's say you have a car that's very light on fuel, that gets around about, let's say it's 17 kilometers. Okay, that's distance per liter. Right, that's also a rate. Okay, let's do an example quickly. If we have, okay, we have those for petrol and for distance. Okay, let's just take a simple example here. Let's say you're going to the store, you're buying a 6-pack of Coke. Okay, that's number 2. Let's say that was example number 1. You're buying a 6-pack and it costs 69 rand. Okay, for a 6-pack of Coke, right? What does 1 Coke cost? Right, what does 1 Coke cost? So there's 6 Cokes, so we take 69 divided by 6, and we get, well, you can use a calculator if you want to, 11.5. All right, so that means therefore we have 11 rand 50 per Coke. Right, do you see we have the front slash again? Right, that front slash. So that's a rate. The moment you have that, you have a rate. Right, I want to ask you a question here that you can do by yourself actually. Let me see where I can find space. Let's do this. Alright, new page. Alright, so one day, a few years ago, the morning before I left home, I quickly went to the toilet, I flushed the toilet, and I left. So the afternoon when I came home, I heard that there's water running in my house. And I discovered, oh no, it's the toilet's handle that didn't lift up by itself. So I lifted up the toilet handle and, well, the water stopped running through the toilet and the tank filled again. So I was curious, how many liters of water wasted throughout that whole day? So we can say, let's make this example number 3. That's the one about the toilet. All right. So I was gone for 8 hours that day. Right, that's the time that I was gone. So that's a time that the toilet was running all the time, right? The water just went through because the handle was down. 8 hours gone the day, and the next time I flushed the toilet, I saw that, okay, it takes about 1 minute for the toilet tank to fill up. So it's 6 liters for that toilet tank. So we have 6 liters per tank. And it takes, and fills in 1 minute. 1 minute. Right. So how many liters went to waste that day? Okay, how many liters of water went to waste that day? That's the question. You can write that down as well. How many liters went to waste? Right. So how many liters went to waste in 8 hours if there's 6 liters per minute? Alright, you can stop the video here and give yourself 2 minutes or 3 minutes and see if you can do the calculation quickly. And then we'll continue. I'm going to do it now, and then you can see if you got it correct. Right, let's see. So we have, let's say, in 1 hour, how many liters went to waste? So it's 6 liters per minute. So how many minutes are there in 1 hour? There's 60 minutes in 1 hour, right? So 6 liters per minute times 60 minutes. Maybe we can say times 60 minutes is equal to, well, we can, you can use your calculator. Let's see. Right, so we have 6 times 60 gives us 360. So that's the amount of minutes that went to waste, the amount of liters that went to waste. 360 liters in 1 hour. Alright, so let's see, in 8 hours, we take the amount of liters per hour and we multiply it with 8. Alright, so the 360 liters times 8 gives us, oh wow, 2,880 liters. Wow, that went to waste for that whole day. Alright, okay, and this is also still part of rate. Alright, if we say it takes 6 liters, the tank fills up 6 liters per minute. Right, see, that's rate. We have that front slash again. Alright, that's rate. Right, okay. Let's look at distance, time and speed now. Over here, speed, distance and time, right. So we use the triangle to help us with this. You can draw the triangle, and please remember the triangle. You have to remember the triangle in order to do your calculations correctly. Okay, so the information that we just want to write down quickly is this, that the triangle has distance at the top and then speed and time at the bottom. It doesn't matter if time is on the left or speed is on the left, as long as speed and time are at the bottom and distance at the top. That's the important thing. So your formulas that you have to calculate each of these, let's write that down quickly. For distance, we'd have, let's do this, in order to get those formulas. So, let's see if this works. Right, let's use this one to cover up. Right, if you're looking for distance, you cover distance with your hand or with a pencil that you have or your ruler or something. You cover distance, and then you see that speed and time are next to each other. So that means now we're going to multiply. Alright, because speed and time are next to each other. So that's your formula that you have now. Distance equals speed times time. Right, that's what we have there. If we're looking for speed, we're doing this. Right now, you cover up speed. And we see that, okay, distance is above time. So it's distance divided by time. So that's what we can write then there. Distance divided by time. Okay, so the one that you're looking for, you're covering it up to see what's the formula in regards with the other two that's left. Distance divided by time. So we write that, distance divided by time. And the same with the other one. If we're looking for time, we cover time. So we have time equal to distance above speed. So it's distance divided by speed. So that's what we're writing down. Distance divided by speed. Alright, that's the way that you figure out what's the formula. You just have to remember that whenever you have your triangle, distance is at the top. Right, that's the important thing. Distance is at the top. Right, let's do an example. So, if we have this example, let's say example 1. Right, let's say you travel, no, not you, your friend, let's say. Your friend travel to Polokwane, and it takes him 5 hours. Travel for 5 hours to Polokwane. Right, and Polokwane is about 260 kilometers from here, from Pretoria. What is his speed? Okay, so we're looking for speed. What is the speed? Right, that's the question. So it takes him 5 hours, it's 260 kilometers away, and we're asking for speed. So we're looking at, we've already written down the formulas here, but every time that you get a question, you're writing down the formula again. Alright, every time you get a question on one of these, you write down the formula again. So we're starting with, we're looking for speed, so speed is equal to distance divided by time. Okay, remember, you'd actually, in the triangle, so every time that you have a question on this, you draw your triangle for yourself somewhere on that page, that you have it, like every time. Right, in that way, you'll never forget that distance is at the top. So we see that speed, we're looking for speed, so we cover up speed, and see we have distance divided by time. Alright, that's how we get your formula every time. So to continue, now we fill in from the formula that we have already. Distance is 260 kilometers divided by the time in hours. It's absolutely fine, just write it in hours, you'll be fine, right? So 260 kilometers, we can now go to the calculator again. Let's clear that, so we have 260 divided by 5, which gives us 52, right? That's the answer. 52, right, 52 what? Remember, we're looking for speed, so we start with kilometers and hours, right? So I'm just writing this in blue, okay? You can write it in pencil, kilometers, and we add hours over there. So you're using this over here to get your answer, right? That's what you're writing now there. Kilometers divided by hours, or kilometers per hour. Okay, that's how you get to the final answer. What is the final answer then? It's 52 kilometers per hour. Alright. Let's take it one step further. Okay, that was your friend, eh? He only traveled at 52 kilometers per hour. Now, what about you? Okay, let's say you travel at 100 kilometers per hour. So let's take this further. You travel at 100 kilometers per hour. Let's see if there's space more. Yes, there's space. You travel at 100 kilometers per hour. Now remember, it's the same distance. It's still the 260 kilometers, okay, to Polokwane. So what is your time that you take to get to Polokwane? So I'm just writing this in short. What's the time that it takes you, right? So if we're going back up there to the triangle, all right, we're looking for time now. So you cover time and see that your formula says you have distance divided by speed. That's your formula now. Okay, time equals distance divided by speed. Right. Let's write that down. Time equals distance divided by speed. All right. We have the distance, okay, to Polokwane, 260 kilometers. And the speed, we just said now for you, it's 100 kilometers per hour. Right. Now we can type that into the calculator. Okay, have a look. So we have 260. This is very important. Look now when you are calculating time. 260 divided by 100. And it says, okay, it gives you a fraction at first, but we're not working with fractions here, so you press SD. And it says now it's 2,6. All right, but what does 2,6 mean in terms of time? Like 2,6 what? 2,6 hours? 2,6 minutes? What's 2,6? Okay, because minutes, or well, in 1 hour there's only 60 minutes. So what's this 2,6? Right? Now to figure out what that is, we press the time button. Okay, very important. Like make a star somewhere and you say the time button. Right? The time button. I don't know if this is going to work on the screen. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll draw the time button for you. I'm just cautious that you don't see it on the calculator. It's the button that looks like this. Alright, you see that's a button with a dot and it looks like 3 commas. Right, it's that one. Right, it has a dot and 3 commas. Right. I don't know if other people call it a time button. I just call it a time button. Right. So then we press the time button when we see 2,6. So now it gives you 2 and a circle and 36 with an apostrophe, okay, and 0 and a double apostrophe. That means 2 hours and 36 minutes. And remember, we're working with time. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for time, okay. And that time button gives us the answer now in terms of hours, minutes, and seconds. That's what we want. So we can write that down. 2 hours and what was it? 36 minutes. Right, and there's the answer. That's how long it takes you to drive 100 kilometers, okay, 100 kilometers per hour for this 260 kilometers. Okay, it takes you 2 hours and 36 minutes. Right, that's how we get to the exact hours and minutes. All right, okay, then that's it now for today. I'm not going to go further. We'll go to the other topics tomorrow or so. Your homework for today would be exercise 1.4, number 1 to 6. Let's write that down. Let's write it here. So it's exercise 1.4. It's on page, what is this, page 15? 1.5. It's number 1 to 6. Right, we'll get to the others still, and then you can do them. Right, there's your homework. And then, yes, we'll continue then in the next lesson. Right, make sure you do your homework. Remember, maths is practice. Maths is practice. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Right, the more you practice, the easier it gets. All right, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Right, thank you for watching this video, and I hope your studies goes well. Enjoy your day.